Welcome back, Bulls Nation, to the YouTube premiere of Nothing But Bull. And of course, it's a special episode when we have a three-time NBA champion for the Chicago Bulls, the voice of the Bulls, best commentator in the league, and host of the Give Me the Hot Sauce podcast, the one and only Stacey King is here.
Oh,
What's
okay.
up?
Okay, you know what? That was a great introduction. Your check's in the mail. I appreciate that introduction, DB. Pleasure to be on the show. I was on there earlier. We had some technical difficulties when we did it last time, so I owed you another one. So I'm here.
Sir, and welcome to her first podcast, Chicago Bulls Twitter community moderator, Melissa. How's it going?
Hello, thanks for having me.
What's going on, Melissa?
Hello, what up?
Are you the Melissa on Twitter that had a picture with Derrick Rose?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I know who it is.
Take a picture with you too. I think I probably took like 2 or 3 pictures with my parents. I'm gonna post it.
Well, you know what? Just try to make me feel old there. That's okay. Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
Just this season.
She's like, yeah, I took a picture when I was in 2nd grade.
Stop.
That hurt, Melissa. That hurt.
Stop it.
I'm just messing with you. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Of course, my longtime co-host here, Justin's here. What's up, Justin?
Nothing much. You know, when I said I needed to shave and everything, like I thought I was just joking around. I didn't actually expect you to actually pull a YouTube episode.
hey, baby, that's what the podcast is going through now, man. YouTube, Twitch. You gotta be looking good, Justin. You can't be out there looking like Bill Russell.
Oh no.
You can't be out there with the nappy locks, baby. You gotta be groomed now, but you gotta be on TV. You gotta have a face for YouTube now.
Yeah, well, I already got clowned by my wife. She was like, so you're gonna brush your hair, right? They give you those suggestions that aren't really suggestions.
Yeah, yeah, honey, you're just gonna walk around in your house with your head messed up like that? How about put a hat on or something?
Yeah, she offered to give me a haircut too. So I was like, I was supposed to get a lot of stuff done today, but unfortunately the Florida weather has not held up its bargain. So
yeah, you know what? I'm just recovering from hip surgery, so I hadn't had a haircut since June the 4th, and I was looking like I just came from the mountaintop from the burning bush. So I had to get faded up by my man Razor Red and then get shaved up. So I know that feeling, brother. I know that feeling.
How's the hip feeling, Stacey?
Hip's going good, man. I've had a setback, but we found out today that it's going to be okay. So nothing to worry about. This is going in week 4, and the first week I had the surgery. When I came out of surgery, I literally felt like I could run, like actually run. That's how good I felt. And then I had some technical difficulties. I had to go back in and had to go close up something in there because it was excess fluid and drainage. So they had to go close up something. And so I'm grooving right now. I'm back. I'm back, and I'm happy I did it, and it's going good.
I don't wish you a speedy recovery on that.
it's good to hear.
So you had your puppy's spa day.
Yeah, you know what? They were looking kind of bad too. So I figured if I was gonna look good and get my hair cut and and cleaned up, I need to get my boys groomed up. Plus, they're little guys. They're like low to the ground, and I swear to God, like I never knew such little dogs could stink like they do. Like literally, seriously, man, they're the cutest thing. They're like little bullies. They're the cutest things. But man, for a short-haired dog, like I've never had a stinkier dog than American Bully. I've had Rottweilers, I've had Akitas, I've had Japanese Tosas, miniature Schnauzers, and they never smell. These dudes smell every day. When you go out there, they like to wrestle and play. And when they come in from outside, man, it honestly smells like they've been in the gym.
Melissa and a few other people planning a dog park date.
Yeah.
might be able to get Kobe and Brixton out there with them.
Come through.
Well, I tell you what, my Kobe's a little antisocial, so he ain't trying to make friends unless you're a girl. Unless you got a girl dog, he ain't trying to make friends with male dogs. He liable to, give a puppy paw 2-piece and a dog biscuit. That's what he's talking about. But if it's a girl dog, oh, he's straight. He a little ham. He loves the females.
I got a little female dog.
What kind of dog?
I got a tiny little dog right now. It's a Maltese and poodle.
Yeah.
I had the German Shepherd before. I had a Pointer Dalmatian. These are I got a small dog now, little baby.
How much does she weigh?
She's like 20 pounds, little baby.
Oh Lord, Kobe might rape her.
Oh no.
Kobe might rape her. He's 75 pounds. He might just try to take it. I got to keep him on a leash. You might be calling the police on me. Dog rape.
No.
Stacey King dog raped my little dog. See, Melissa, you didn't know what this podcast is going to be like, boy.
Hey, I'm here for it.
It didn't take long.
It just got real. It just got real.
It got real. It got real. Hello,
real quick.
I'd like to report a rape. Kobe, American bully, raped my 20-pound little dog. She did not appreciate his advances, and he just took it.
I'm staying my dog in the house.
That's a good idea, Melissa. I'm just saying. At least I told you. Like if you rolled up on me in the park.
No surprise.
I didn't tell you that, and you're like, "Oh, look at the cute little Kobe! Look how you see them pictures. He's so cute." All of a sudden, it's over. It's over.
Oh my goodness!
Hey, Derek, make sure you edit like the first 3.5 minutes of it.
Hey, as long as YouTube don't tell me to take it down.
Man, YouTube ain't gonna tell you to take it down. They let you say pretty much whatever you want, as long as it's not offensive.
I don't know.
A little offensive.
We talking about puppies. Puppies are cute. Everybody likes puppies.
They're so cute.
Yeah. No, seriously, my dogs are really good dogs. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. But I'd be afraid that because they're so big and strong.
Yeah.
Like they may look at her like they do other bullies or other big dogs and play with her rough,
Yeah.
My girlfriend has like a Colton Day Toulour. And it's a French dog. It's a French lap dog. So they used to give that dog to like the French princesses and queens. So the dog is strictly a lap dog, but she weighs like probably 15 pounds, little bitty dog. But she runs the roost in the household though. She's the boss. She's the queen. No, nothing goes down without her being involved first.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's amazing. It's amazing because they're so big and she's so little. But it's that who is here, who's the oldest. Dogs follow that code. Like who's the oldest. Yeah, it doesn't matter how big they are, how small they are. If the smaller dog is there before the younger dogs, it's gonna be, they gotta listen to her.
Yeah, that's amazing. I've seen that happen before too with smaller dogs, being the older one, and the bigger dogs will even wait for the smaller dog to eat. Like, it's amazing. Dogs are amazing creatures.
Yeah, they are. They're the best. They're the best. My dogs got me through COVID. I'm going crazy during COVID. My dogs, how people talking about these were COVID babies. They got pregnant during COVID.
Yeah,
well, these are COVID puppies. I got these dogs COVID. I was getting bored sitting at home.
Yep.
I was like, man, you know what? I think I'm gonna get me some dogs to train and keep myself busy, And I got them both when they were puppies, and they'll be 2 years old here in a few months. Both of them, they're like 3 months apart, so they're real close. They don't fight. They love each other. Like I could put a bone in between both of them. Now this is a bully breed. I can put a bone in front of them, and one will look at the other one and say, "You want this, or you gonna let me have it? Wow. If you have it first, I'll have it after you." Now they share everything.
Did you train them that way, or is it just natural?
No, it's just instinctive. I mean, I think a lot of it is I got them as puppies, and so they learn to coexist
Yes.
as family, you know. And now that they're almost 2 years old, like they've never got into a fight ever. And they come from two different breeders, which is really weird because, you know, you got two different breeders, two different parents. You don't know how those, you know, how that's going to mix up.
Mhm.
But if you take one out of the room, like yesterday they were at the groomer, I take one out of the room, the other one just cries until the other one comes back. I feel so bad for him because, like, I'm just thinking, I'm like, you know what? The hardest thing about a dog being a dog owner is when they get sick
Yeah.
and you got to put them down. You know, that I don't care what people say. That is like you're losing a child.
Yep.
You know, especially when you've raised that puppy from, you know, infancy to where it is 13, 14, 15 years. A piece of you goes with it. That's the hardest thing. So I was just talking to my friend about this the other day. I said, I'm thinking about getting a third one, you know, a female, because like if something happens to one of them, they're not, because dogs, you ever seen Where the Red Fern Grows? You ever seen that movie?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Yeah, that's a Disney movie. Okay, that's probably be outdated. I might be outdated myself, but that was a movie back in the day. And it was two dogs that were hunting dogs. And this kid saved up all his money to get these two dogs. They were brother and sister.
Mhm.
And at the end of the movie, they were so close and everything. At the end of the movie, one of the dogs got killed by a mountain lion trying to save the boy from getting attacked. So he gave up his life to save his sister and the boy, which is sad right now. I can see your face, Melissa. You're getting ready to cry. Right now, you get ready to go grab your dog and hold her. So then the other dog just went into depression and died like 2 weeks later. And that is so true. When you have two dogs that are so close and they're like, they're imprinted with one another. And if my biggest fear, because I can see it with these two, if something happens to one of them, the other one's not going to make it. So my thought process is I'm thinking about getting a female and have a third. So then if something happens, you know, foreshadowing, I don't want anything to happen, but if something happens, the transition will be a lot easier because there's someone else there, you know, another sister or brother there with them. So I've had a couple of dogs that did that too. It's crazy.
Yeah. I used to have two dogs, actually. The Maltipoo I have now, there were two of them. So I feel that because they passed away like suddenly 2 years ago. And this one that I have now that survived, she went through some depression. I'm telling you, she didn't eat. She was in the corner. She just, her personality completely changed. So for sure.
And she probably was looking through the doors.
Yep.
Like where's her buddy? Where's her friend?
Yep.
Anytime you got up to move, you think she's thinking you're gonna let her out to go find her friend.
Yep.
It's very depressing and sad at the same time. That's the one thing about pets, because if you're a pet lover and a pet owner that loves pets, like dogs are man's best friend. Because like my philosophy is no matter how bad my day is when I come home, no matter what, that dog is happy to see me. Right. I could have girlfriend problems. I could have, the team lost 8 games in a row. I could come home just in a really foul mood. Yeah. But once they see you come through that door, they don't care about how your day was. They want love. They want to play. They want to wrestle. And that change completely changes your mood when you get in.
100%.
Who would have thought we'd be sitting on a Bulls podcast talking about puppies?
I was going to say, I think last season you didn't have too many times coming home in a bad mood because of the Bulls.
No. And I don't think I'm going to be coming home a lot this year in bad moods. I think, the Bulls are going to win 50 plus games, but it's all based off of health. If Lonzo Ball, let's just be honest, if Lonzo Ball is playing that Milwaukee series last year, the Bulls win that series easily. The whole complexion of that game changes, especially coming back to Chicago after we got a split. Just having him and his defense ability there would have changed the whole momentum of that game. And so I'm excited about the season. I'm excited they brought Zach back. I'm excited that he wanted to come back, because when he left, he kind of left Chicago kind of like in lurch a little bit, like, I don't know, I'm going to go test free agency and I want to go the rounds. And that kind of scared Bulls Nation, So it was good to hear him say, like, he didn't take any more interviews. Chicago's his place. And so he got the money, got the bag. Now he got to come here. And with that money comes responsibility now. Yeah. Okay. When you're one of the highest paid players in the NBA, you're making $35, $36 million a year. There's no nights off now. You're getting paid like a superstar. the Bulls bet on you and bet on him to be that superstar that we've seen him grow into the last 3 or 4 years. So there's no nights where you don't play defense now. There's no nights where you take crazy shots without being in the flow of the offense. There's a big responsibility that comes with that. You want the money, but do you want that pressure that comes along too?
Right. It's so quick for him to become the villain when you're getting paid like that. Like, he's going to be scrutinized, so
I think, you know what, Melissa? I don't think by Chicago fans. There'll be some haters. I mean, listen, there's some people out there who hated Derrick Rose when he got hurt. So you're always going to have those kind of people.
Yeah.
But loyal Bulls fans that are ride or die, and there's a lot more than the haters, okay?
Yeah.
There's a lot of these guys sit behind a computer in their mom's basement eating Pop-Tarts and, sending out, malicious tweets, trying to get 15 minutes of fame, have no idea what it's like to be a professional athlete. The closest they've ever been to an NBA game is 2K. So, I know Zach's going to put the pressure on himself. He's got a baby coming. There's a lot of things going on in his life. Zach is a gym rat. I expect Zach to come in and play the way Zach's been playing since he's been a Bull. I look at DeMar. Can DeMar do what he did last year? Let's just be honest. I don't think he can. And I love Debo. I still think he's going to have a great season. I still think he's going to average 22, 23, 24 points a game. I don't know if he can put on. I mean, there was a time in the season where he was the best player in the league for like a month. Like, he just, like, a straight month, he was killing. I don't know if he can do that kind of production this year. But having 12 or 11 30-point games in a row and, back-to-back game winners, I mean, everything aligned for him last year. And I think he had a chip on his shoulder because a lot of people thought he was the worst free agent signing. I think that motivated him because he's a prideful guy. And he's a guy, him and Zach both are really hard workers. Like, they're extremely, they're highly intelligent. They want to win, and then you couple that with Caruso, you throw in Lonzo Ball. There's a reason why the Bulls didn't mess up their core unit. You could have, the Bulls could have said, hey, let's trade Kobe. Hey, let's get rid of Vooch because he's on a one-year contract. They believe, and I believe, that in order for a team to take that next step, there's got to be some kind of continuity. Milwaukee's shown you that. Milwaukee has kept their core group together. Even when they lost, they're still keeping their core group together, and they're building around Giannis. When we played in Chicago, you go back and look at all those championship teams. The core group, they kept 7 or 8 of us, and then we built around. If we need a three-point shooter, they go get a three-point shooter. We need another rebounder, versatile big, we go get that. But the core foundation of your team stays the same for multiple years. Then, like I said, there's levels to this. Everybody wants to complain about, the Bulls got beat in the first round. Okay. Hey, listen, the other alternative is sitting at home watching the playoffs and not having the Chicago team in the playoffs. Okay. That's your other alternative. The team the year before won 22 games. They won 45 this year. That's positive in itself. Okay. And they make the playoffs. Zach makes an all-star team. DeMar's on the all-star team. Vooch didn't have a typical Vooch year, but Vooch was really good in the playoffs. People don't give Vooch enough love, man. Everybody wants to hate on Vooch. Like, Vooch stinks, trade him, cut him. Vooch is a vital part of what this team does. Now, granted, does he take too many threes? Absolutely. Okay. Is he one of the best back to the basket centers in the league? Absolutely. And I think with him, he has to go back to Orlando Vooch in order for us to win. He's got to go back to that guy that's going to get you 26 and 14 boards, couple of blocks. I think he'll be highly motivated this year due to his contract's up after this year, and this could be his last big payday. So I think when you get a guy on the last year of their deal, and they're going to be a unrestricted free agent, you want to have the best year you can to maximize the dollars that you're going to get. So that's why I think Vooch is going to have an amazing season this year.
Well, I was wondering, Stacey, how do the Bulls navigate that? Because you have these guys who they came together, and first it was Levine, who came in, and we expected him to be the man, and he put up the numbers showing that he could do that. And then we added Vooch, and they seem to have a lot of good chemistry between the two of them. But then you throw DeRozan in there, and you have a lot of guys who are coming from all of these different places in their careers. How do they navigate like not wanting to step over another guy who's supposed to be considered kind of the man, like you mentioned with Levine coming in and a lot of things that are being expected of him? But how do these guys do that? Because it felt like a lot of times last year, one of the reasons why like Vooch was struggling, it just seemed like he didn't want to step on toes. Like
he's got it. You can't worry about that this year. He's an all-star. It's not like Vooch has never been an all-star player. He's an all-star caliber player. So if you watch our team, we got a big three. We got three all-stars. Okay. It may not be LeBron and, AD and whoever else, but we have three all-star players. And so, Justin, to answer your question, it's all about hooping. Like the good players and the good teams will figure it out. It's not about, if you're on a bad team, then I can see guys going, it's my turn to score. When you're losing, players tend to say, I'm going to get mine. Forget everybody else. We're losing. I'm going to get mine. Okay. When you got a winning team that went to the playoffs last year and this team gelled way faster than what I think anybody thought. Okay. From the preseason, when they were undefeated in the preseason, they didn't lose their first game until until probably, I don't know if it was the New York game where Patrick Williams got hurt. That was a deflating game. I'd have to go back and check that one, but we had won like 9 or 10 straight, including preseason. So when you have this much new talent, okay, and every one of these guys are coming from a team where they had a big role, okay? Alonzo was starting in New Orleans. Caruso was a big player off the bench for the Lakers. Debo was in San Antonio leading that young team. Vooch was the man in Orlando. Zach's been the man here in Chicago the last 4 years before we made all these moves. Patrick Williams, Kobe White, they've been navigating their way through trying to find, how they're going to fit into all this. Okay. But in this league, as you know, you got to have players. You can't contend for a title if you playing with second tier and third tier players. Okay. And I'm not taking anything away from the Bulls that had Jim Boylen's Bulls. Okay. Okay. Name one of those players off that Jim Boylen team that was in the league last year. Other than Zach, who was on that team, Kobe, Patrick, and Vooch in the second half of the season. Arch was in and out of the league in the G League. Felicio is on a milk carton. I don't even know where he went. Those guys were, and I'm not slighting them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say they were bad players, but they were probably third tier role players. Not even second tier. Second tier is Derrick Jones Jr. that comes in and can play multiple positions for you. Okay, you got your first tier starters. Debo, Zach, Vooch. Your second tier players coming off the bench, which is very important because you got to have a good bench. And I think the Bulls realized that. That's why they went out and got Drummond this year. That's why you saw them go get Goran Dragic. Now they got some veterans. They got some guys that's been in playoffs that know how to play. And, your second team, you got to have some guys that play. Look at Milwaukee. Milwaukee's deep. Miami's deep. Golden State is deep. Phoenix is deep. Your elite teams in this league go beyond 5 people. They go 10, 11, and during those 82-game seasons, when you have COVID, you have injuries, that's where your younger players get the minutes now. That's where Patrick Williams gets 40 minutes a night. That's where Kobe's getting those 40 minutes a night. That's where Caruso and those guys are getting big minutes. And I thought last year we were the hardest hit team with COVID. Like, I swear to God, I think everybody in the organization had COVID at one point. Like, we were running out of players. We kept thinking, when is the NBA going to cancel games? Like, how many people do we have to call up from the G League to form a roster? It was almost comical, And myself, Bill Winnington, the coaching staff got it. It ran through our team more than anybody. And so that you would think that would have kind of messed up our mojo because we were winning up until that point. And I think the biggest thing that happened to us was kind of the turning point of our season going into the second half was losing Lonzo Ball, losing Caruso when Caruso broke his wrist with that hard foul by Grayson Allen. That completely turned our season around because we lost our two best defensive players. Having those two guys on our floor every night made the Bulls a top 5 defensive team just for those two players. Okay, when you take both those two players out, go look at the numbers. We dropped to like 28 when those two players are not on the floor. That's going from top 5 to bottom 5. That's a big drop.
I think we were top 5 on offense too. Before injuries.
Yeah, we were very efficient offensive team. We had a really good pace. We got Lonzo gives you the ability to fast break. Yeah. And he's very unselfish as a point guard. He's not trying to get his. Lonzo's a point guard first, point guard second, point guard third. If Lonzo wanted to go out and get 25 a night, Lonzo could do that. If he wanted to be like his younger brother, Melo, and just go out there and just have, just go out there and say, I'm going to score, I'm going to pass, I'm going to do whatever I need, and put on a show, Zoe could do that. Not his personality, though. His personality is, hey, I'm running the show. I'm going to get Vooch easy shots. I'm going to get DeMar easy shots and help them be efficient. And I think that's the biggest thing that helped DeMar, and I think it was a big reason it helped Zach LaVine because they were much more efficient scorers. You didn't have to – if you don't have a point guard and they can't get you easy shots, you got to work for everything you get. And last year, if you look at the numbers, very efficient scorers out of our star players.
Yep. That's the thing. A lot of what we're going to do next season rides on Lonzo and his health. AK talked on Summer League yesterday, saying that Lonzo is progressing, but not as fast as they would like to. And then the report came out earlier about Dragic saying one of the reasons he chose the Bulls is because they promised him to play about 20 to 25 minutes a night. So a lot of people automatically assumed either that means Lonzo's not going to be ready or that means Kobe's getting traded.
You know what? I heard that rumor today. I don't know why any team would promise someone something that they couldn't deliver on, because the Bulls, one thing about the Bulls, they're deep at guard. I mean, if you're playing, you guaranteeing him 20, 25 minutes a night, what does that do for Ayo? What does that do for Caruso? What does that do for, Zach or, DeMar? Like Dalen Terry, where's the minutes going to come for these younger players that have proven that they can play? I mean, Ayo proved that he was the steal of the draft last year. He proved that he deserves to be at a first-round pick. He proved that he was on the all-rookie team, second team this year. By the way, I just want to toot my own horn. I was on the all-rookie second team, too. I would have been on the first team, but I was robbed by David Robinson, who was about 80 years old. And he wasn't technically a rookie because he went into the Navy and served 3 or 4 years and came in as an old man.
Robbed.
I got robbed.
You got robbed.
That's a robbery.
But my point is that the kid developed nicely as a second-round pick. Okay. So how does that impact his minutes? I don't believe that's true. I don't believe AK would promise anyone like that. I don't know. Like I said, unless I heard it was a quote, I got to see the interview, and I don't speak whatever language that he speaks. I don't speak that because I heard it was over in his country.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to pull out my audio translator and try to find out, did he really say that? Because if he really did say that, that puts a lot of pressure on Billy Donovan to try to get him minutes consistently. And let's say you play him 20, 25 minutes, okay? He hasn't played that many minutes the last 2 or 3 years. He's been hurt. So you're going to promise someone 20, 25 minutes that hasn't stayed healthy. Maybe he's going to be healthy for us, but I'm saying if you're going by what he did the last 2 or 3 years, like he hasn't been on he hasn't been on the floor because he's been hurt. So when he's healthy, he's a very good player. Like that's a great pickup for us because, if something happens to Alonzo, let's say he has another knee situation, you got a quality backup point guard in Dragic who, even at his age, still can get it done. But to promise a guy 20, 25 minutes a night, and I heard the reason why they said that was to keep him from going to Dallas. Dallas couldn't promise him those kind of minutes, and that's why he came here. I don't know if it's true. Like I said, I just heard it today when I was going over our pre-production meeting for my podcast for tomorrow, and I just I can't believe AK and them would say that or make that kind of promise, So I don't know. We'll see. He's a great pickup. I think Andre Drummond is a great pickup, and a lot of people are disappointed that we didn't get Bamba or Isaiah Hartenstein, but none of those guys wanted to come here. They're chasing money. You know what I'm saying? So Bamba got paid more than he would have got probably with the Bulls to stay in Orlando. And I don't know where he's going to play because they got so many bigs there. Where they're going to play him. That Bonchero kid is the real deal. So he's going to be a starter from day one. So he was so good in the summer league, they shut him down after 2 games. Said, hey, we've seen enough. You go home and you go to the casino, gamble a little bit. Here's some money. We're going to pay for it. Go out there and play some craps. You got Wendell Carter Jr. still there, and he really had a breakout season last year for them. I'm telling you right now, man, the Eastern Conference is going to be a bear to get through next year. Okay? Let's just go with the teams that made the playoffs last year. You got Cleveland's going to be better. They just got Ricky Rubio back. Okay. Bulls, Milwaukee. That's just in the Central Division. Okay. 3 teams in the Central Division. Detroit's going to be better. Okay. Detroit, that kid Ivy is the real deal. And now you pair him up with Cade Cunningham and Duran. They're building something really fun and nice in Detroit. Orlando is going to be a better team. The Knicks are going to be a better team. Atlanta, picking up, which is crazy, being able to pick up DeJounte Murray and basically just give a bag of chips. You get an all-star caliber kid, 25 years old, been on multiple all-stars, tremendous point guard, and you didn't have to give up nothing basically to get him except Danilo Gallinari, and that's really nothing because, Gallinari is at the end of his career. This kid's 24, 25 years old, just scratching. He's not even his prime yet. And he's already been to 2 all-star games, led the league in steals and minutes. And you pair him now with Trae Young in Atlanta. Oh, so the East is going to be a beast. Miami's going to be good. Milwaukee will still be there. Philadelphia is trying to, they're trying to do something there. So your usual suspects, your top 3 or 4 teams will be there. The question is, where will the Bulls be? Where will they be? Are they going to be in the top 5? I think they will, but health is a major key.
Yeah, we had some Bulls fans already claiming that we're either a playing team or we're a first-round exit again, and I'm like, we haven't even played a single game yet.
Listen, I told you earlier, those are not real Bull fans. Okay, the people that always got negative things and not like excited about where this team is going. There's levels to this, man. The first level is to get to the playoffs. Okay. The second level is to come in next year, be one of the best team record-wise, get a home court advantage, not have to go out on the road and play. Okay. Be in the top 4 seeds in the conference, get a home court advantage in the first round. So it makes it easy for you to get to the second round. And now the goal is to get past the second round and beyond. Do I think this team can win a championship the way it's currently constructed? I'd be sitting here lying and say, yeah, I'm not going to lie. I don't think they can. I think they still need some shooters. As we saw in Milwaukee last year, Milwaukee didn't even guard anybody last year. They didn't guard anybody at the 3-point line. We couldn't make a shot. So if you don't have some shooters and guys that can step up and knock down threes when that ball is swung side to side and making teams play for playing a scramble type of defense where they're trying to get the ball out of DeMar's hands. And that's what happened to DeMar. DeMar has that big 40-point game because they said, hey, stay on the shooters. And then after that, they said, all right, we got to take the ball out of his hands. Like, hey, trap him, whatever, run him off screens. And then now he makes the pass. He makes the right pass to a guy who's supposed to step up and make a shot. Well, we didn't have no Kyle Korvers last year. We didn't have no Craig Hodges and John Paxsons and B.J. Armstrongs, guys that were lethal from the outside. So we're going to have to address that.
That's why I always like talking with you, Stacey, because you keep me level-headed. Like, you're good for my fandom mental health. Like, because I'm looking at the past couple of off seasons. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, didn't the Bulls like kind of win the offseason? I mean, we brought in DeRozan, we brought in Ball, we brought in Caruso. This year, we signed my opinion, which I think everybody's opinion, the best free agent out there, Zach LaVine. So, but yet and still, you do hear a lot of negative feedback from people who are so-called fans who say that the Bulls really haven't done anything to kind of get them to that next level. But I think that bringing in guys, like you mentioned, who have that playoff experience, who aren't going to be afraid if there's like a full court press put on, like the ball's actually going to be able to move. And you have a lot of guys coming back from health, like not having P-Will. That's going to be huge with his development this year and being able to work out with DeRozan over the summer. So I felt like there's a lot of good things that were happening.
There's a lot of positive things. I mean, you go back to the last game of the year when, DeRozan set out, Zach set out, and then Patrick Williams was the man. He had 38, 40 points, I think, and dominated. And he showed you that the ability is there. It's just getting the mind to catch up with the body and athleticism. Okay. Then he gets in the playoffs. He struggles in game one, completely. I think he only took 2 shots in game one and then realized hey, I can't do that if we're going to have a shot to win. And I think he averaged 14 or 15 points in the series the rest of the way. Him and Vooch actually played, next to DeMar the best on the team, and so Patrick got that experience last year, what playoffs is all about. I think with him, he's been hurt the last 2 years, missed a lot of games. He's got to stay healthy. I mean, his accidents, Justin, are freak. You can't do nothing about someone going up to dunk and they take you out of the air and you break your wrist. It's not like you're talking about, he pulled a muscle, he's not in shape or something like that. It's been more, where he's just been taken out of the air. He's been hurt that way. The kid's got phenomenal talent. I would like to see them, and this comes from Billy. Billy's going to have to, he's got so many different weapons in the toolbox. Okay, he's got a lot of different tools in the toolbox. Okay, I would like for them to use Patrick Williams more in a guard role as far as getting the ball off the glass and starting to break, which allows Zach, DeMar, whoever, Zoe, run and get up and get the ball up the floor, shoot threes. Get your best shooters out on the floor in transition, and then hit them up the floor for wide open threes like Golden State does. Golden State looks, they get the ball, Draymond Green brings it up the floor, and Steph and Klay Thompson and Poole, they're already spotted up on their spots. But by the time you run back there, because their guys never stand still, they're constantly moving, okay? And the one time you stop looking to where Steph Curry is or Poole or Klay Thompson, all of a sudden he's on the other side in the corner wide open. You lost your man, I'd like to see Patrick Williams in that Draymond Green type of role where he's a facilitator in the offense. I think he'll be a big help to do that because he can play. He used to be a guard in high school. So, he knows how to play pick and roll. He knows how to make good decisions. And he's 6'9". You got a 6'9" guy, and I thought one of the biggest things that Billy did in that playoff series against Milwaukee was that he put Vooch and Patrick Williams in pick and rolls, and he got away from it. But when they did do it, they had success against it because, you had to switch. And so when you switch, that means, you got Giannis and Lopez, okay? So if I switch and Lopez takes Patrick Williams and the Giannis guards, Vooch in the post, you got a mismatch everywhere. And if Patrick Williams, which he did, beat whoever was on him off the dribble, which forces people to come over, now you're dropping it off for someone getting a wide open shot. So I expect big things out of Patrick. I still think, honestly, in my opinion, I'm still a Kobe White fan. I don't care what people say. That kid has shown the ability to have big scoring games in his career. And his rookie year, he had some 28, 30-point games that were phenomenal. Okay. And, in sports, people always tend to say, what have you done for me lately when you're not doing what they want you to do, and they're quick to trade everybody. But then when you trade them, you've been yelling trade and they go somewhere being all-star. Now you're mad at the front office. So you got to learn how to appreciate what you have. Cheer them on, be supportive. You can have opinions. Fans have opinions all the time. But to sit here and discredit a team who won 45 games and made the first playoff in 6 years, Zach's first playoff in 8, to discredit what they did because you're not happy about the outcome is sad. You need to get a life, all right? You could be just like any other team like Brooklyn, you know? I mean, we went further than Brooklyn. We went further than, you know, 2 teams that were 4 and 5 seeds last year, New York and Atlanta. You know, we went further than those guys, and we didn't have to play in a play-in game. With all the injuries that we had, we didn't have to play in a play-in game. So we had a successful season. It might not have been as successful as we all like it, but it's still a successful season anytime you make the playoffs and you're a seed. You know, you're a seed. So I was happy with last year.
To be fair too, with Kobe, like he didn't even have a full off training season last season because of his shoulder injury. So he did really great before All-Star game. And of course it wasn't as consistent as we would have liked, but we definitely saw some good stuff from him. So as much as sometimes I'm frustrated with Kobe, I'm like, he's got it in there somewhere. Hopefully this off season.
Well, and you gotta, here's the situation with Kobe. He hurts his shoulder. He's out 3 months in the season. Okay. He comes back. The team he played on is now a totally different team than he's going to be on now. You got Lonzo, Caruso, Ayo. I mean, you got a ton of new DeMar. You got a ton of new players. Okay. So now training camp for a young player is so important. You know, you can't miss time, a young player in training camp. You know, Ayo can't miss time. You know, that's, you know, same thing with Patrick Williams. You know, if they're healthy, they got to be in training camp. And you take a training camp away from a guy like Kobe, his rhythm is gone. And you don't have time. There's not enough practices in the year because of so many games that we play. People think, you know, NBA teams practice every day. You know, no, you don't practice every day. Half the time we didn't have enough to even have a walkthrough, let alone go through a full practice. I mean, you know, there's been times there's been 3 guys in practice, you know, because everybody's sick, you know. So I think Kobe's going to have a training camp this year. I think Kobe's going to be hungry. I think he's got a lot to prove, you know. I still think Kobe can contribute to this team. I think, in my honest opinion, you know, Kobe, they need to put Kobe in his natural position, you know, and Kobe's a 2 guard. He's not a point guard. He's a guard that can play point, but he's not a point guard, you know, and he's a guy that will get you buckets. So I'd like to see him in that Jamal Crawford role, Lou Williams, you know, Ben Gordon, where he relishes in that 6-man role. And you say, turn him loose. As soon as he's checking the game, it's green light. So go get it, Kobe. Because if Kobe comes off the bench, gets you 18, 20 points off the bench, Zach's out the game. So now you got someone out there in that second group that can get you buckets. It gives you a whole different dynamics of your team.
Yeah, I agree. And I think with Kobe, like he never really had a consistent role any year that he's played so far because they wanted him to be a point guard. Then they kind of let him be a shooting guard. He got hurt, came back, and like you said, it's a whole different team. So you think has a lot to do with it, is that he never had a consistent defined role?
Yeah, I mean, you're getting inconsistent minutes, you're going to get inconsistent play. I mean, that's just the law that, you know, happens in football, baseball, basketball. If you're not getting the reps, then how can you make a difference? You know, if you know, you're in the game for 5 minutes and get pulled out, how can you get into a rhythm? You know, especially a guy who's a shooter that relies so much on his ability to score. I think with Kobe, it's all about getting consistent minutes. And I think what happened with Kobe this year is the Bulls got off to such a great fast start that Kobe kind of got forgotten about. You know, there wasn't room for Kobe to play when he came back. They tried to force him in there and try to get him to play, but there wasn't really a spot for him because Ayo was playing well. You know, Caruso and Lonzo were playing great at the guard spot. So it's like, and Zach and DeMar were playing great. You know, so where do you put him? You know, how can he get minutes? And that's a tough decision with Billy Donovan. It's like, and he's gonna have that same problem this year, is how to play everybody. You know, there's only a few guys on this team that don't have to worry about minutes. And that's Vooch, you know, DeMar, and Zach. Okay. You know, we got a good backup center in Drummond. A lot of people weren't happy about that signing. This guy is a walking triple-double. Okay. He's going to rebound, that was one of the Bulls' inconsistencies last year, was rebounding the basketball, especially on the defensive board. No second chance opportunities. It was one and done on most nights. So you address that with a center who's also on a make good contract. I mean, this is a guy who should be making $25 million a year. And he's they tried to assassinate me at my own house. There's a sniper in the building, baby. Lee Harvey on the grassy knoll. Allah. So you get a backup center that is actually a starter. Okay. So now you got two starters coming off your bench. What second team is going to be better than those two guys? Okay, at their position. Then you throw in Alex Caruso coming off the bench. What role player is better than Alex Caruso? So the Bulls bench has been upgraded big time. Big time. We lose Troy Brown Jr., but basically him and Derrick Jones are the same player. And if you're asking me, I think Derrick Jones Jr.'s role is more valuable per se, because Troy Brown Jr. is not going to get a lot of minutes at small forward with DeMar being there. But you can throw Derrick Jones in multiple positions, 3, 4, and 5. So he's a jack of all trades. Our bench is upgraded, this is a totally different team than what people saw last year, with the exception of our regular starters. But the bench is going to be much better, man.
With that being said, Stacey, what can Dalen Terry do to add to this team, the makeup of this team moving forward? I mean, I love the guy's confidence.
He's very confident.
Fresh air. But what can he do to add to those different elements that you mentioned?
Well, he's in the very same situation Iowa was. Okay, you're going to have to find your niche on a veteran-laden team. You're going to have to find ways to make an impact, and it's not about scoring. It might be defense. They might say, just like Iowa. Iowa got in the lineup because he played D. Okay, so that's why Iowa got in the lineup. So this kid's got to have the same kind of effect, because he's so versatile. I mean, the kid's 6'7", so you could play him at small forward. That's why they let Troy Brown go, because you can get him some minutes at small forward, and he's a legit small forward that can handle the ball like a guard. So now you got a kid that can attack from that small forward position off the bounce, and then get his teammates involved too. He's a very good passer. He's having more turnovers, I think, than what people want to see. But it's a rookie in summer league. You're going to have a lot of turnovers because you're trying to impress. Don't think these kids don't see what all these other kids, Chet Holmgren and Monchero and all these points they're putting up, and you're a first round pick. Like he was. You want to. I'm just as good. So you had that attitude. And sometimes you force things, you make some passes that don't need to be made. But I think the kid, because he's so versatile, you can play him at, the 2, the 3, point guard. Maybe he can play some 4 at small ball 4. There's so many different ways you can utilize his talent and skill set. So I know the Bulls are happy and ecstatic that he was there. I had him on my board, my draft board, as a must-watch player. It would not have surprised me that he went in the second round, because that's where I had him. I think a lot of people had him in the second round because he only averaged 8 points a game, at Arizona. But it comes down to, AK and Mark, man. I tell people all the time, trust the process, because those guys they're coming up to the plate looking to hit a home run every single time. They're not hesitating. They're not thinking things go, well, should we? No, it costs too much money. They're going out there doing whatever it takes to win. I mean, those guys are just as competitive as the players are. You talk to those guys after the playoff series, and AK was like, man, we got to be better. I got to be better. He took the onus on himself. How many GMs take that blame, And so that's why he went out and did what he did. I think the number one priority was to sign Zach first and make sure that, we get him in the fold, because you never know. You never know what's going on in a player's mind in free agency. You might think you have the upper hand because he played for you and he loves the city of Chicago. But, I mean, you got the Lakers pursuing you. You got LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Hey, if I go out there, it's not cold anymore. I'm waking up, flip-flops and shorts, 75 degrees, whereas I'm in Chicago in October and November, I'm out here freezing, and who doesn't want to play with LeBron, That was one of his things that he always, he said last year before going into free agency that it would be great playing with LeBron. So that I think that put a lot of Bulls Nation on pause when he said that. Like, oh, okay. But it worked out for the Bulls. He's back. And I really expect them to win 50-plus games. I really do.
Speaking of Terry, watching him yesterday, you could really see like he's a great communicator because he was like talking while he was out on the wing like the whole entire time. So I think like communicating and defense, like Ayo would be how he gets minutes on the team.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell he's a natural leader. I mean, kids 18, 19 years old, he's, pumping his teammates up. He's talking to them, giving them, constructive criticism, and trying to encourage them. Yeah, he's got natural leadership skills. That alone is going to get him playing time, because he's into the game. He wants you to be into the game, and he's going to go out there and give you max effort. And if he's not scoring, because there's been some games in the summer league where he hasn't scored, but he plays great defense. He rebounds the basketball. He's a big guard. I mean, he's got a 7'1" wingspan, I think. So there's so many ways you can play him. I think just like Ayo. Ayo didn't play a lot during the preseason. Ayo didn't play a lot in the beginning until we were getting torched by somebody. And then Billy was like, okay, let's try the rookie. He's a good defensive player. Let's put him out there. And then Ayo went out there and I don't even remember who it was, but he went out there and shut him down. And then he got playing time after that.
Do you think Marco's going to see some playing time?
I don't know why he shouldn't. I really don't. I don't know why he shouldn't. I thought he should have played last year. 15 minutes a night, especially when we needed size. We needed some rebounding, and he has a unique skill set that really translates to the NBA and the Bulls offense. He's big that can score. He's athletic. He can shoot the three. All the things that you want in your big man. I think that the thing with him, though, is you just got to get some playing time. How are you going to develop? You're in the G League, and you clearly are better than anybody down there. So it's like, he's a big fish in a small pond. You need to bring him up here and where the big sharks are and see what he can do on a consistent basis. Give him some consistent minutes. He's put on probably 35 pounds, over the summer. He's looked, just like any young player. He had the 27-point game, looked impressive, and then he had a stinker game the next night, where he didn't play as well. And that happens to many young players. That consistency is not there yet. The thought of me playing good 2-3 games in a row is there. It's just, finding a way to do it. And I think, after that game, he had 27, 15 boards. And I mean, he had some amazing stats, for a kid who didn't play hardly any minutes, on the varsity team last year. So.
Well, last show, Justin hilariously said that Marco has already showed stuff that Lauri Markkanen never showed.
Damn, Justin. Come on, man.
Well, I say that because I wanted Lauri, I wanted him to be aggressive going to the basket. I don't think that there's anybody who would argue that. They were kind of tired of seeing Lauri just, kind of floating around the perimeter, just being active. I mean, you're a 7-footer who has the skills to actually put the ball on the court and get to the basket. That was one of my biggest frustrations watching Lauri while he was here. It seemed like he did it more his rookie year, and then all of a sudden that version of Lauri just totally went away. So.
Well, a lot of that, Justin, was schematic stuff. They put him out there on the perimeter because he's such a good 3-point shooter. And then once you get put out there and you realize, hey, I'm pretty good out here, you don't want to go inside them. Okay, same thing with Vooch. Vooch fell in love with a 3-point shot. I mean, there's no way in the world Vooch should lead your team in 3-point shot attempts as a center. I mean, if you take 3 shots, all right, cool. But you taking 8, 9 3-point shots as a big man, I know you can make them, you have a history of making them, but to me, it's taking away and neutralizing your biggest asset, the ability to post up, cause a double team, to be able to make the right pass, or shooters swing the ball, put teams in scramble mode. You know what I'm saying? Put them in scramble mode defensively like you see us sometimes. You know, the ball doesn't necessarily, let's say we double Giannis, okay? Giannis kicks the ball out to, to Connaughton, okay? Connaughton already knows he's already moving the ball one more time because most likely the rotation is coming out to him. So he's already anticipating that the defender is coming after double team. So as he gets the ball, his natural instinct is to make one more pass to a wide open jumper. So even though he's open for a second, he's not going to stay open because the double's coming. So now if you watch us in that Milwaukee series, we were constantly one step behind. We were constantly scrambling, and they were able to get wide open threes, and knock them down, and it cost us a series.
We could just get Vooch to play how he did in game 2 of the Bucks series. I mean, that was like just beautiful when he was just in the paint and just doing what he could do best.
Melissa, Vooch is gonna have a hell of a year. It's a contract year. He's gonna do things that he didn't do before. You're gonna see him out there switching on guards, playing defense, moving his feet, blocking shots, posting up. This is his last opportunity to get big money. And there are gonna be a lot of people after Vooch. Like, Vooch is a modern day center, a guy that can post up and shoot threes and make decisions with the ball. But I think sometimes with guys like Vooch is that you're so used to being the number one guy like he was in Orlando that he doesn't know how to play with other great players. I thought last year he struggled at times learning how to play. It's one thing when you had Zach LaVine the year before and then you had a bunch of guys that were not on his level because he was basically the second best player. But now you're throwing in Lonzo Ball. Now you're throwing in DeMar DeRozan. You're throwing in, young Patrick Williams in the lineup that's going to do some stuff. Now you're confused. Like, okay, how am I going to score? How am I going to get buckets with all these people on the floor? Instead of just saying, hey, you know what? I run a pick and roll. I'm dive cutting. I'm posting up the smaller guard. Throw me the ball. He gets so many points just off of just dive cut to the basket instead of fanning for a three-point shot most of the time. There is a place for him shooting threes. I think everybody has seen Golden State and they want to play that way. But you can't listen. Golden State, you got future Hall of Famers on that squad. Okay, Steph Curry is a future Hall of Famer. Draymond Green is a future Hall of Famer, and Klay Thompson is a future Hall of Famer. And we don't even know how good Poole's going to be. Poole is just as good a shooter as those guys. So you don't know how good he's going to be. He could be a possible Hall of Famer when all this is said and done. Wiseman is coming back now. Kaminga is a great young player. Moody, who arguably probably is their best rookie, he didn't even get to play last year because they were so deep at the guard spot that he didn't get any minutes. He had to play in the G League. But the kid is talented. He's big. And wait a minute. Not only to mention that, in my opinion, they got the steal of the draft. Okay? Because they pick late. When you win it, you pick late. Okay? So I think they picked 28, if I'm not mistaken. You have to look it up. But they were able to draft Patrick Baldwin Jr., who looks like a bigger, taller Klay Thompson. Like 6'10", 6'11", got long arms, 3-and-D guy. That was the kid I kind of wanted the Bulls to draft, only because he checked so many boxes for them. Like, he's a great three-point shooter. He's a 3-and-D guy. He can lock down. He can, as he gets older and it grows into his body, this is a kid that can be a really good two-way player in the NBA. And, Golden State don't miss. They don't miss. They draft really well. They do their homework. And they went after Patrick Baldwin when everybody else kind of gave up on him because he had a bad first year. And now you got to attribute that to being he went to a school that he probably wouldn't have went to if his dad wasn't the coach. Okay. So he went to play for his dad. Not enough weapons to play alongside him. And you're asking an 18-year-old kid to lead a college team to the playoffs, to the tournament, and he just doesn't have enough help. And his stats were really, really not conducive of a guy that you expect to go in the lottery, which they had him because he was the top 3 high school player in the country and a person that was projected to be a lottery pick. So when they picked him at 28, Golden State was ecstatic about that. Oh, we got another Klay Thompson, but bigger. Klay Thompson's 6'7". This kid is the legit 6'10", 6'11". Moves just like him, can shoot it, got a beautiful stroke. And he can defend. So Golden State, once again, does it again.
Yeah, hopefully, we'll be saying that about AK and
Oh,
Mark.
yeah. AK's picks have been big. They've been big. So I'm not betting against AK and Mark, because when you get picking 18 below, it's the best available player. You picking lottery, okay, it's a lot harder to mess up the lottery pick, okay? When you get 18 on down, it becomes what's the best fit for your team. Do you go with a guy like Patrick Ballin, who you may think some scouts say might have been soft, do you go and get a kid like Terry, who a lot of people didn't have in the first round, unless it was fringe, a guy who's a natural leader, a guy who is going to come out and play hard every night and push guys to play hard. Sometimes those are the best picks.
Yeah, a lot of Bulls Nation was like, "Oh, we should have got a big man."
Bulls Nation, chill. Chill.
Yeah, I think how they're putting this team together, they want like guys who can play multiple positions.
Versatility. You got to be versatile, man.
Yeah, so we needed 3-and-D, and I think Terry could be a good 3-and-D player that he could develop into.
Yeah. I see him in a couple of years developing into a nice two-way player for the Bulls. I think he's got the skill set. I think he's got to work on his outside shooting. Cut his turnovers down. If he can do that, that's gonna help. That's gonna help the Bulls in the long run.
Yeah.
Stacey, are there any other guys on this G League team that you think eventually could have an impact for this team later on?
Was it Justin Lewis? I think he's got a chance to develop nicely. I think he starts off in a two-way contract. I thought that was a good free agent pickup because I thought I had that kid going in the second round from Marquette. I had him going to the second round. He didn't get drafted. I was completely surprised. A lot of teams passed on EJ Liddell. Everybody thought we were going to go that direction. I think he's out now with ACL injury in a year. So that would have been But the one kid I've liked so far, I haven't really seen a lot of them, but I saw him yesterday, the kid Maker, Thon Maker's cousin, 7-footer. And when you watched the game yesterday in Vegas, he looked like Pascal Siakam, like the way he moved, how fluid he was. And this is a 7-footer. You ain't talking about 6'7", 6'8" dude. So I was really impressed. He can shoot the three. He runs the floor hard, plays hard. That would be a guy, if you're the Bulls, you take a flyer on and you develop him in your system and see what he could do. Worst case scenario, you got a Giannis stopper. Worst case scenario, you got a kid that's athletic enough to pick him up on the floor, to guard him, give him some length. Worst case scenario, because if I'm building a team, just like people when I was on my championship teams, people were concerned about Michael Jordan. They didn't care about anybody else. They're like, we got to find a way to stop Michael Jordan. And it's the same way when you talk these other superstars. In the Eastern Conference, if you want to come out the East, you got to have a Giannis stopper. You got to have someone that can stop that kid because that kid is unbelievable. You see him, he works hard. He's one of my favorite players to watch in the game. Just a great kid, humble, loves his teammates. He could have left free agency and went somewhere. He stayed in Milwaukee. Did y'all see his movie Rise?
No.
On Disney? Oh, dude, you guys gotta. Hey, come on, man. I'm turning y'all, getting y'all hip to stuff. Y'all gotta go watch on Disney. Go watch his the Giannis Antetokounmpo story, Rise, about how hard it was for him to get into, to be able.
Sniper got him again. The sniper's back.
Casualty.
Oh, Lord, I'm just spilling my Gatorade. Oh, Lord. Oh, technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. Hold on, people. I've been on here too long, baby. Y'all got me on here too long. Oh, sniper in the building. Snipe in the building, trying to kill me. Oh Lord, I got Gatorade on the screen. Oh Lord. Can y'all see me?
Yes.
You see.
No, yeah, I'm getting tired because I just taken some medicine, so I'm kind of like I can tell I'm kind of getting.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
sorry about that, Stacy.
No. I'm glad we got a chance to talk because I know last time we had such bad connection. y'all had like y'all had gerbils on treadmills trying to power up the internet. Okay, now y'all done went to high tech. Now we on Zoom. We got YouTube now. See them little treadmill hamsters, man. They was running their butts off, boy. They was like, I'm sorry, that's all we can do. Hell no, we ain't going no more. We need more nuts. They didn't want to work no more. They went on strike.
Yeah, see, well, almost went with the that same format, but Dale, who's another one of the Bulls Twitter community moderators, he's deaf, and you actually replied to his tweet yesterday where he showed us how to sign.
Oh yeah,
hot sauce.
How to sign. Give me the hot sauce.
Yeah, so when I was telling him we were about to do the podcast, he was like, "Well, if you do it on YouTube, I can look at the captions and follow along." So I said, "Well, we gotta make it happen for YouTube."
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome that you guys did that. He's a good guy. That was pretty nice. I'm over here trying to practice my French because we're going over to France in January. So I got to be able to say, "Give me the hot sauce" in French. You know, I'm an international man. Parlez-vous français? Oui, oui. You know, I gotta be able to say my patented trademarks and my catchphrases in French.
International man of mystery.
Oh yes. I'm glad you recognize that, Justin. You know, that tells me that you appreciate greatness.
I do. Hey, Melissa, make sure, just like Stacy said, that we had, like, the Avengers had a Thor, not a Thor, but a Hulk, and we have a Giannis stopper. So make sure you tweet that out. We got a Giannis stopper.
Yeah. That might put some pressure on him right now.
A little bit.
Because then what if he don't make the team? Then they say, well, how was he going to stop Giannis when he couldn't guard so and so from the Wizards? So I don't want to put that pressure on him, but that's my mindset with developing him. That's my mindset, developing down the line, getting me a Giannis stopper. Because right now, Giannis is on a different level, man. I mean, Giannis can honestly be an MVP candidate every year. You know, so it's nice to have a Giannis stopper. Everybody else, I don't fear anybody else in the East, but Giannis makes such a huge difference. I mean, he was out there playing football when we was playing basketball. He's running people over and, you know, charging. They wouldn't call it. You know, our players are trying their hardest to draw, you know, charges on them. They wouldn't call it. I mean, the dude was just running people over like a bull in a china shop. So, but he's the only guy in Embiid. Those are the only two guys I worry about in the Eastern Conference as far as what do you have to stop those guys? Because those two guys they're a load for anybody. Even a great team would have a hard time guarding those guys.
Have to do what you can to lock everybody else up, except those two.
Yeah, see, it's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, for real.
Well, guys, I appreciate y'all having me on this wonderful podcast. I'm glad I was able to get on here. Melissa, it's nice meeting you. I always see your tweets. Are you a regular on the show?
Nope.
Oh, y'all need to hire her because she's bringing beauty points. She's bringing beauty points to the show. Looking at y'all two knuckleheads. I mean, hey, come on, baby. You're losing your audience. Make sure you bring Melissa on here because she is bringing all the males from 18 to 26 in. Okay. I'm bringing certain people in too. You know, because of me. Because I'm the Black Brad Pitt. So I'm bringing in the women that's 50 years old and older. I'm bringing them in. Okay. So me and Melissa just upgraded everything today. So now, Melissa, you need to be on this show all the time because it's great to have a female perspective on things.
We can pay you in peanuts. Just like we paid the squirrels, we could pay you.
Hey, Melissa, there's no money. All they can pay you is a pat on the back. You're doing a great job. I'm sorry. We don't. Our budget is in the negative zone. Okay.
Do it for a bag of chips.
Yeah, do it for a year's supply of Doritos. Okay, you can go to Sam's Club or Costco and go bag a year's supply of Doritos. Cool Ranch. Don't get the nacho cheese that smells like somebody's feet. Get the. I hate nacho cheese, bro. I hate it. Ugh.
Flamin' Hots are where it's at.
Listen, I got enough hotness in my life already. I'm already. My hot sauce is, it's amazing. Melissa, have you tried my hot sauce?
I have to get it. I tweeted at you asking which one I should get, and Derek told me.
Okay. First of all, Melissa,
I told her to get all of them.
You told me to get all of them.
Melissa, let me just say this. Here I am plugging you to get on the show. Okay? I'm going out my way to these guys to hire you, and you got the audacity to not have tasted my hot sauce.
I'm gonna get him.
Derek has tasted my hot sauce. He tasted all flavors.
Yeah, he's been speaking that hot sauce up.
Yes, he's one of my biggest advocates. Justin, have you tried it?
I have not tried it. I can't have spicy things like that.
Justin, hold on, man.
Hey, wait. You already offering Melissa to get some hot sauce. This is like what, the second show that we've had? Our third interaction, actually. You never told me about any hot sauce. Justin,
hold on, man. It was a secret at first. We couldn't let the secret out, okay? now it's full-fledged. Everybody knows about the hot sauce, okay? But Justin, I don't want to hear that excuse talking about I don't like spicy things, okay?
I didn't say I don't like spicy things. I said I can't eat spicy.
Okay, you know what? My hot sauce has different flavors, okay? Different flavors, barbecue sauce, the green St. Pat's Verde with is good on quesadillas and stuff. It's amazing. Okay. Melissa, I'm gonna still plug for you to get on the show, even though you've been tweeting that Derrick Rose picture for like 100 years, but you're not taking the time to go to my gimmethehot.sauce.com.
I actually went on it. I was gonna get that 2-pack, but I didn't check out. It's my bad.
Oh my God. Okay, guys, scratch my endorsement of her until she gets hot sauce. Hey, Justin, if Derek wouldn't have got my hot sauce, I wouldn't have been on the show. That's my payment. That's my payment right there. Him getting the hot sauce is my payment. Because I'm at a level right now. I'm on a whole new level, like Future said. Okay, so when I come on the podcast, I'm coming on because I'm friends with people. And I know how hard it is to start podcasts, how hard it is to get going. So I always try to, come on people's podcasts and help them out a little bit. And, when y'all, of course you're talking about the Bulls, which is, great content. So I wish you guys nothing but the best. Keep grinding, man. The whole key to a podcast is patience. You go from, everybody wants to have a great podcast, but you gotta grind, man. You gotta grind, especially when you don't have the backing of people, like I was like Nipsey Hussle. I'm selling my podcast out the back of my trunk of my car to get people to listen to it, and it's one of the top podcasts in top 3 in Chicago, and it's one of the tops in the country. So, and we don't have all the big boys backing us, like sponsorships, but we got sponsors. Nationwide is by your side. I got that sponsor. We got Angel Water Saw. We got Windy City Limos as sponsors. So we got some sponsors, but now we're getting ready to go to a different level because going from just the audio on the podcast, the way of the future is being visual because you want your audience to be able to see you guys laughing and having a good time. You know what I'm saying? In the audio version, you're driving the car, you're at work, you're working out. Okay, you still want to have, because that's going to be a majority of your fan base there. But everybody wants to see what's going on. Everybody wants to see guests, who they have as a guest. What are they talking about? Is it interesting? Because you gotta say this to yourself. What separates you from the 100 other Bulls podcasts? That's what you got to look at when you're doing your podcast, because people have options now, just like they have options in Chicago about their sports dollar. If the Bulls suck, the Cubs suck, the White Sox sucks, the Bears suck, the Blackhawks suck. Now your only choice is, okay, all of the teams are, they're not winning. So where do we go? Where does our entertainment dollar go to? And that's when most time we're going to go to a Bulls game because, it's the thing to do in the wintertime. There's nothing else to do. And if you're winning, you know, that's a great thing. But yeah, stay on y'all's grind, man. Stay on your grind.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, it's nobody wants to look at our ugly faces until we hire Melissa.
Hey, listen, Justin, I didn't actually say that way. Okay. I just said that, okay, listen, if you make some scrambled eggs, okay, you can spice those eggs up a lot of different ways. You can put some habanero sauce on it, some hot sauce on it, cheese on it, okay? Nobody just wants to eat plain scrambled eggs, okay? But that's where Melissa comes in. See, now you get a female's perspective on sports, okay? You get someone there if like, you know, some guys like, oh, who's that nice looking young lady, you know? Now you bring in a whole target audience. And the good thing about it is, you know, she knows the sports. So that adds to her mystique per se. She's just not there like a guy on my show, like my friend Timmy Whispers. Timmy Whispers probably says 3 words the whole show. Okay. An hour and 20-minute show, he says 3 words the whole time. But what he does say, when he does say something, it's very impactful. Like, it's like one of those things like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that, you know? And so, but yeah, it's good to have a female on there because we had one on my show earlier, and then they were from Milwaukee, and you know, the drive to Chicago once a week was too much for them, so they decided that, you know, they can. But she was good. Like her name was Southside Susan, and so her role is to kind of be the antagonist, you know, because everybody's got to have a role. You got to have a moderator. You got to have, you know, the moderator keeps things flowing, you know, keeps things, you know, going. If you go back and you look at Mark Shanowski is a very good moderator. So when the show is getting off the rails, he can pull us all back in. Okay. Then you got your talent, the guys who are, you know, who are going to carry the show with their knowledge of the game, you know, their knowledge of Chicago sports. And you got to have some humor, man. You got to, like, we're talking about the dogs and stuff today and, you know, laughing and giggling. People love that kind of stuff, man. You know, that's what separates good podcasts because, like, I want to laugh out loud. You know, when you watch my show, you're going to laugh out loud. You're going to laugh out loud. It ain't going to be some serious, okay, the Bulls won the game today. No, we're going to have fun. We want people to be excited when they go, okay, they can't wait. They're fiending for it, you know, every week. When is it coming out? When is it coming out? You know, they want to be part of that. So you got to have some fun, man. Have some fun. And, you know, hey, no, you know, I'm not saying y'all have just a face for radio, okay? You know, I mean, Justin, if you get a haircut and shave a little bit better, you know, come on with a little fade up, you know, I think you'll be okay.
I'm glad that I can aspire to okay. That's what I live for.
Yeah.
So Derek, don't cut the first 3 minutes of the show. Keep the dog.
Keep the comedy, baby.
Yeah.
Keep the comedy. All right, listen, you guys be good. Melissa, I try to get you hired. I don't know if they're gonna do it now, but I try.
I had to pull her leg to get her on this show.
Oh, really?
This is the first one I've ever done. I mean, he's been asking me to do it.
I'm telling you, you should want to do it. Try it. I thought you did good today. So anyway, listen, I'm gonna go take a nap because I'm tired. I'm exhausted, and enjoyed you guys having me on the show. I hope I did knock it out of the park for you guys.
Always.
Awesome.
All right, Stacey.
Thank you.
I'll let a player. You see me in the streets.
All right, Stacey.
Justin, get a haircut.
I will.
Savage.
Hey, Justin, I was just like you 3 days ago. Okay. Even my oldest son today, my oldest son, I was telling somebody, I said, yeah, man, I was looking kind of beastly. And then my son goes, yeah, you were. And I like looked at him, I'm like, you little ungrateful little. I'm like, you know, you can always leave. You know, you don't have to get out of my refrigerator. You know, you leave. Yeah, so he even said that. So Justin, I was right there with you. Okay. So
I used to like myself, Stacey, and I used to like eggs, but now I just
told you. That's what I'm telling you. You guys listen, man, you guys spice up eggs, man. I'm sorry. Man. I just can't eat just scrambled eggs, man.
You little hot sauce.
Yeah, you gotta put, yeah, you know what, Melissa, you're not a hot sauce expert till you get my hot sauce, okay? Stop being so damn cheap and buy the hot sauce.
I'm gonna buy your hot sauce.
Yeah, you looking at the hot sauce prices like, oh, I can go get some Cholula for less than this. Yeah. You dirty woman, you. Yeah, dirty little woman. Spend the money. Stop being so cheap. You get your hair and the nails done, and get your eyelashes. Get them big old eyelashes that be out trying to grab you. Maybe your eyelashes. The eyelashes for some of these women are out there. In front of them. Do you have eyelashes? You got the big ones?
No.
Okay, those are natural.
Yeah, I'm pretty
That's
basic.
awesome. That's all. Hey, I saw a lady the other day. I swear to God, I thought they were spiders. Yeah, they were huge. Like they came out and gave me dap. I walked by her. Hey, what up, Stace? I'm like, oh. I'm gonna have a lot of women mad at me for that one. I'm sorry, ladies. Stacey loves the ladies. Keep wearing them eyelashes, girl. That make you look good. Do what you want. I'm all for it. I'm out. Y'all be good.
All right, Stacey.
Thanks.